The thought of spending another hour of my life watching tutorials was making me physically sick. So I decided to pause everything and just focus on building a playable game as fast as I could.
我が弟子よ、お前に試練を与えよう。14日以内にゲームを完成させるのだ。この試練を超えた時、お前は新たな境地へと至るだろう。さあ、始めよう。
I now have my mission, and to complete this mission, I need a plan. But how do you make a good plan if you've never made your own game before? Well, I guess I just have to wing it. We need a hero, an enemy, a scary map, and an actual gameplay loop. So, I settled on a chase game, where the knight has to try to find keys throughout the map. After collecting 3 keys, he'll be allowed to escape. However, if he's caught by the monster, it's game over. I guess the best place to start is by setting up the character. Okay, I downloaded this free robot model online, and I managed to place him in the level. But now, how do I get him to move? By the way, I'm just editing this video and I wanted to add, I didn't realize that Unreal Engine gives you free third-person templates. I had to set up the entire system from scratch, so that was painful. Okay, so now my character works properly. I can walk and look around. But at the moment, it's pretty useless. The main objective of the game is to be able to pick up keys. But how will I even set that up? And before I even make my character pick up keys, I need a key model to put in the game. So I went online and I yoinked this key model, but it looked kind of boring as it was. So I added a pulsating material to make it stand out, and now it looks all glowy and shiny. And then I added the interact feature for my character, which lets me pick up the keys and it tracks how many I have in my inventory. Where my character is storing this, I have no idea. He clearly has no pockets, but it's being stored somewhere, and that took way longer than I expected. But as you can see, the map is pretty empty, and a chase game with a completely open area doesn't seem that appealing. I now have to figure out how to create a map. I started off by putting cubes in the world, but it was just taking too long to adjust everything. I even managed to make this monstrosity, but creating doors and having it all editable was a nightmare. And this led me to do some research, and I found out that Unreal Engine has this nifty cube grid modeling tool. Can't believe I didn't realize this at the beginning. This allows you to very quickly block out maps, create prototypes. So the 4 hours I spent hand placing blocks was a complete waste, and within the next 20 minutes, I had a fully designed map. Instead of showing you the hours of excruciating footage of me placing singular blocks into the level, I took some screenshots to show you the map progression. Okay, we have the player, map, and key, but we're missing the main piece, the monster. At first, I wanted to design something really cool, but then I remembered I'm incompetent with Blender. Then a turn of events happened. My internet shut down. I was going to download a scary monster asset, but I had to settle with this tutorial dummy. I placed it in the world, but it did nothing. So I had to figure out how to actually get it to do stuff. And this led me to Unreal's documentation, where they use some rather questionable terminology and is more commonly used to execute a series of children in order. The fuck? With a wave of a wand, I finally created a monster that could actually chase me around. Well, it just moves around a small area. If it sees me, it chases me, but it also loses me quite quickly. And worst of all, I can just take the monster for a dance, would jump off the map, and I pretty much evade it. But I'll put all of these changes on a shelf and just continue to make the actual game playable. The more I learn about game development, the more I realize that the key to a good game is juice. So how does one go about getting juice? Well, everything looked like it was in a sorry state, but luckily I had a fix. Just before my internet went down, well, a few days before, I had managed to download a free asset pack full of nice environment objects and some cute characters. I plugged all of these into the game, and whilst I was playtesting, I also happened to realize that the character just collecting keys around the map was way too easy. So I added these barbarian characters that you have to kill to escape as well. Initially I wanted gnomes, but with my internet being down, it would have been a pain to get them downloaded. I cleaned up the UI, I improved the monster so it actually has a patrol route to traverse. I fixed the lighting so the map has a more ominous feeling about it, and to be honest, it looks pretty scary to me. So now I'm going to show off some b-roll of the finished map. I think it looks pretty cool, it looks spooky, it gives off that ominous vibe. Let me know what you think in the comments. The asset pack I used is in the description, so you can check it out there. So the only thing that our game's missing now is sound effects.
I'm coming for you. Where are you?
Shit. With the sound effects being completed, we are at last finished with this challenge. If you want to try out my game, go to the description, go to itch.io, and you can download it there, have fun. But I'd recommend you to click off now because I'm about to show some final clips of the gameplay. Yeah. Oh no 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 no. He's chasing me now. No!
Where is the HDMI cable? Skakari bakari bakari bakari.
Yeah. But this is legit hardly broken.
Where is the HDMI cable? Skakari bakari.
Thank you everyone who made it to this point of the video. If you enjoyed what I made, tell me in the comments. And most importantly, if you're in for the journey of me going from knowing nothing about game development to making an official Steam game, then please consider subscribing. There's a lot of content planned and it's going to be an interesting journey. If you're interested in watching somebody with no artistic ability try to do pixel art, click here to see my 7-day challenge.